And this has been his favorite thing going on. He has been consuming this content on both sides of the same side all week. So let us know what's going on with this civil war.
I just think it's fascinating just to see how, like, with Trump just doing such a bull crap job right now, they're just imploding on themselves. Mm-hmm. So we already talked about this before. We had like a conversation in which Candace Owens sat down with Nick Fuentes.
Yes.
And like pretty much all hell broke loose out between their two camps. And now there's been like this push to where like now Nick Fuentes is like 100% like persona non grata amongst the right. Like everybody's just talking trash about him. Candace sat down with Tucker Carlson. He called him a little gay little boy from Chicago. Like who's this gay little kid from Chicago talking all this stuff? Because he exposed that Tucker's dad was CIA. And he actually is? Tucker said he didn't know, this is what Tucker claimed, that he didn't know that his dad was CIA until after he died and people came up to him and said that his dad was intelligence.
How did other people know your dad was CIA then?
Well, because they're bar intelligence.
Okay.
So they went in and revealed
I thought like his uncles and because it was coming up and being like, your daddy was a spy.
He didn't specify who he was talking to when he said that, but he did say like, how did this guy know that my dad was an intelligence? But it was pretty obvious if you look at what the stuff his dad was doing, the interviews he was having, the connections he had in the industry. Was the fact that's why he told Tucker to get into media, because he had already had a link to what his job was, intelligence and media.
Not Tucker Carlson is a nepo baby.
Oh, for sure, 100%. All of these, and that's what he's been going off and exposing. Like he's literally showing all the receipts. He's went for the jugular, and he is attacking all of the notable people of the right. Like,
how have his numbers been doing while he's been doing this?
Well, he's been banned from like a lot of the sites for the most part. Right now, he does most of his stuff off of Rumble. But like the fascinating thing about him is when he was getting kicked off all the sites years ago, he created his own streaming site called Cozy TV, where he would have people funneled in and they would just come in just to watch Nick Fuentes like yell at the Jews for like hours. So now he's on Rumble and he's getting like he's making bread now. He's caked up. But I want to just play some of this because, like I said, our good friend Chuck the Cuck, he is shook right now. He is scared because essentially Nick is taking away from his base. The people who Charlie tries to when I say pretend, I just mean he's finessing them. He knows what they want to hear. He knows what the talking points he needs to spew to them, but he doesn't really believe it because he's a paid actor. Like you can get Charlie Kirk at the highest bid if you need to. He's easy fodder. You know what I'm saying? If you want him to say something for you,
loose morals.
Yeah, you just pass him the couple
stands on
$1,000.
Nothing on his own.
He'll say whatever you say. He's a Russian asset. You can call him whatever you want. But I just want to play this video that was from his stream that he deleted just because of this question. The whole stream that he did, he deleted because one person called and asked him this question. So let me see if I can pull this.
Go to Nathaniel. Nathaniel, thank you so much for being a member. What's on your mind?
Hi, Charlie. As a TPUSA chapter founder and president, I've seen firsthand how the tide is turning among young conservatives. I say, if you truly believe in open debate in the marketplace of ideas, will you ever be willing to debate Nick Fuentes, or will you wait until his movement forces you to adopt his talking points, as we've seen already?
You know, it's funny. I personally do not give a platform to bad faith actors. And I had a whole open about this. And by the way, a really important thing is not to lie and to not bear false testimony. It's fine. I'll answer your question. You know, you said, I want to have a question about Turning Point events. And you obviously lied about your question. Doesn't surprise me because you have deceit. But you know what? Honestly, I'm asked that question all the time.
You have deceit.
I don't platform trolls. And I don't platform
the biggest troll of all time.
Discuss people, or I don't debate with people that are not good faith actors.
Charlie, that is you.
Debate Maoists and people who champion.
They can keep on yelling at how successful we are and our big events and well over 1,000 employees, but there's a lot of jealousy out there. We build, they complain. We succeed, we win. They blame the Jews. Thank you. Next question.
Charlie is so full of crap, yo. He knows that he is full of crap. You're purchased by all of these same people, and this is what
question and comment and Phil. The problem with Charlie Kirk is I think he's insincere. I think he's arrogant. He's not polite. But I think that when he goes and does these college debates, question comes in and like a magic 8-ball, the perfect conservative argument comes out. But here's the conceit. Here's the game. The question goes out and Charlie Kirk will basically categorize that and file it into a particular line of argument. Like, so for example, get asked a question about Gaza. He'll say, well, do you believe Israel has a right to exist? And once that question goes out, it goes down a pre-recorded series of questions and answers, So it's like, how can I take any question and comment and filter that, file that into a track, a predetermined track of questions, and I say this and you say that, until we get to a predetermined destination. And I actually don't think that's very honest. I don't think it's terribly impressive. And I think that at Cambridge, when you actually have super intelligent kids debating him, then you see the conceit. And you could see Charlie Kirk had nothing there because, once again, that was the predetermined track. But when you debate Dean Withers, who's getting like a degree in economics, when you debate a kid from Cambridge, then you see him licking his wounds on these shows and saying, well, Dean Withers is not a normal college kid. He's getting a degree in economics. It's like, isn't that what a college kid is? Isn't that what they do, is get degrees? And
So that's what I'm saying. Nick is pulling the wool or not even the wool. He's just pulling he's exposing the right, essentially, showing that they're not these individuals that are America first. They aren't the people that they claim to be, and that they're all purchased and in the hands of Israel. Literally, he's been going down this whole track of exposing Tucker Carlson. Him and Candace Owens have been going across the timeline for probably the last 5 days now, when she's basically asked him to come back onto the show. They want to go back into the debate. They've been releasing tons of messages to each other. And then the whole word got out from even Milo is involved in this now. You remember Milo, the one to be with Kanye West and all them?
Yeah.
Milo is in this now. And now they're trying to spread this idea that Nick is a Fed. Because Nick was there.
So now all of them are turning on Nick.
Yep. Everybody's trying to push this narrative, trying to say Nick is a Fed. They've been pushing out documents. He even released documents where they talked to the Fed, say they tried to talk to him. He didn't release any information. He didn't cooperate with the authorities. That's what he's saying. He's saying, I didn't cooperate with any of the authorities. All of this stuff about me being a Fed, because this is their argument of why he's a Fed. He was at January 6th. Not only was he at January 6th, he was on video telling people we need to raid the Capitol. He's literally on tape saying, this is our city. This is our country. We need to go back in the Capitol.
Why is he not in jail?
That's why they're saying he's a Fed, because he didn't go to jail.
He might be a Fed.
They were saying he didn't go to jail at all for that.
He's a prominent figure.
Especially now.
Yeah, but was he then? Did he have a platform then?
He started in 2017 is when he really kind of started and coming up, because he was with this other group. I forgot what it's called. I was just reading about them. They were the right side or whatever media. And he started off with them. It only lasted for about a year. And then he just started pushing his own content, where he was just essentially his shtick is the Jews are evil and Israel's trying to
So he had a platform when January 6th happened.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So he should have been made an example of.
Oh, but that's why it gets a little weird. But he said he didn't cooperate. So I don't know if there was anybody that
then he should have been made an example of.
I agree. That is enough inciting of violence for me.
Yeah,
and I feel
for
like
sure.
you would, because I listened to where they show. I don't know if I have it here in my thumbnails or whatever, but they were basically playing it out where he was out there telling everybody, I want to play it now. Let me bring it up. Because this stuff, like I said, this is some fascinating stuff that's going on. And it's just interesting to see them crumble internally, because, like I said, they're all purchased. This is like what goes on the left all the time when you find out this individual is working with this billionaire and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So this is what it goes right here. And I'll read the community note, because Milo had posted it. This is what, hold on. I want y'all to read what Milo said about this video. So he says, no charges because Nick is one of the 30 or so confidential informers working for the FBI on January 6th to entrap Trump voters. His victims were tortured for years. At least 5 are dead. I don't think that's true, but
he's just making stuff up.
Yeah, I'll read that in a minute, but right here.
Keep moving towards the Capitol.
See, that's Nick.
Taking the Capitol back.
That's inciting a riot, though.
Yeah, he's encouraging them to continue doing it.
Keep marching and don't relent, never relent. Yeah. Break down the barriers and disregard the police.
You hear that?
Yeah.
They capital belongs to us. Okay, so Milo did get community noted. So it says Milo claims that Nick Fuentes was an FBI informant on January 6th is false. The Department of Justice Inspector in 2023 reports that no undercover FBI agents were present and the informants were not authorized to participate. Meaning there was informants. They just weren't authorized to participate. This is where it gets fishy, though, because all the people that he tries to say are their purchase, like he went on this rant about Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance and Tucker Carlson and all of them, and how they're all like basically in bed working for the agenda that is Palantir, which is, privatized B613.
Yes.
So you've been watching Scandal, so now you're a little more familiar with what they're capable of.
Okay, that's scary as hell. If they're B613.
That's what they are. And so he's basically saying that they're all caught, but there's been people who work with Nick that said Nick been asking money from Peter Thiel in the past. And Peter Thiel basically dubbed him. But somebody has to be funding Nick. I don't know who's doing it right now, and I can't put an idea of exactly who to place it on. It does feel like some Rupert Murdoch type shit.
It might be.
Like it feels like some
BlackRock.
Yeah, like it feels like Rupert Murdoch or somebody, because Rupert Murdoch is somebody who has been heavily critical of the Jewish people. So and Israel. When it's convenient for him, he has been. So to me, I'm trying to figure out who it could be, but that's like the kind of the stories that's been going. But that's not the only thing they've been saying about Nick. So there was another article this guy he put out. Let me bring it up here. Like I said, this stuff is crazy. I heard about this a little bit because they say Nick is gay. Like,
but why do they say that? Is there evidence? Like, or they just don't like him, so they're calling him gay.
Well, there was a story where Nick was supposed to be him and Destiny. Destiny the streamer that does. Apparently, him and Destiny got together allegedly and hooked up, like on some we're on the far opposite sides of each other, but like we're going to like do some Brokeback content type shit together. Like that's kind of like
for OF.
They didn't put it out, but like they were basically saying like he was sucking Destiny's dick and shit like that. That's what they were.
Allegedly.
Those were some of the allegations. Yeah, that they were sucking each other's dick.
That's crazy.
Trying to say, but this dude named Chris Burnett. So he's kind of like an independent journalist. He put this article that said top 50 Nick Fuentes pedophile scandals.
I saw that. And when I saw that, I was like, this can't be real, because how is there enough to be a top 50?
Right? And that's like, so you did like 75 of them, but he's the best of the best.
This is like, he needs to be behind bars if there's this much evidence that somebody can gather on the internet. Yeah, I need to investigate, open an investigation.
So the grouper thing is essentially like what his group is named. That's the people who follow Nick are the groupers or the goipers or something, whatever.
I don't like that name. That's creepy. Groupers,
it's goipers or something like that. Yeah, I think it's goipers. That's what
goipers.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
But in this article, essentially it alleges and it goes over a few things in regards to Nick, basically saying that he's created an environment where young men are being exposed and kind of exploited in a way to older gay men. So there'll be younger guys that are in there trying to find who they are and in a way, get exploited. It's kind of like groomed, I guess is a better word.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for them to get groomed in this kind of chats that he is kind of creating. And he creates like this, he refers to it as this rape, death, or kill loyalty. Or basically that's the kind of Lord he wants, rape, death, or kill. Like you would do that kind of stuff for him. And he's openly admitted, like he has clips on here where he openly admits like, no, this is a cult. Like my people this is what we're about.
He needs to be investigated.
I mean, he's a scary figure. Like there's folks talking about, he could potentially be the next leader of the free world because of how he has reached the hearts and minds of so many white men in America, like especially young white men in America. And he feels as though he's speaking to them. And he even went on that where he said like, I'm speaking for the weird white kids in their parents' basement right now. That's me.
Yeah, when you go out and you say that you're speaking for these people, then they're definitely going to be behind you. Because nobody has ever taken up for them at all.
Not in the way that he's done it.
No.
Like you have like the Charlie Kirks and stuff like that, but they always have this, I can't speak on this subject now, or I'm going to have this talking point that is ultra political or ultra down the narrow line of whatever side that we're on. And he's exposing that. Like he's just like, no, you guys are compromised. Y'all are all working for a force that is trying to destroy what is right. And also, the thing about Nick is not that legitimate, because if you're looking at what I'm looking at, me and him can see the same thing. I honestly believe, we talked about it, it's the powers that be that are at hand. It's not necessarily the Jews. It just so happens that some of them are Jewish. The problem he has with it, I think Nick has with it, is that he believes that the system should always be working for the betterment of the white race.
Let's get back to the war, the beef.
I mean, that was part of it. What I was just saying.
Okay.
The beef that was going on is that.
So then, is there anything else? Like, what else has been? Who else is throwing shade?
So it's been Milo, Charlie Kirk has kind of done his way, Candace. Who else? Then, like I said, there was some people who worked with him that I told you they exposed him about him and Peter Thiel. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on.
Because how is it the top 50? Let's just read the top 5 in this list.
So they brought up an article that said new pedophilia allegations surfaced against Nick Fuentes and groupers, in which they went down the line several years ago. It was my first report on the notice of pandering of pedophiles from Nick Fuentes and his American First groupers. At the time, he says American First event prominently featured confirmed pedophiles, and it was a public knowledge that Fuentes had willingly allowed gay men access to underage fans. That's crazy.
How is he not, like, I'm so confused.
But he admits, like he said, this is part of the cult. He's
so he's admitted
himself.
this.
Not that he's doing the gay stuff or whatever, but he's talking about he has kind of waved it off as there's guys and they're flirting and that there's consensual relationships going on, but
that are
not
homosexual.
Yeah, but they're not. Which is so weird that he's the conservative gay guy like that.
Right, but does he not condemn all things homosexual on his platform?
He, in a way, because he remember one time he went on this rant where he talked about how he's going to marry a woman because he has to, because he wants to reproduce and all this other stuff. So he does have like this.
He
weird,
might
like,
really be gay.
This is what it is. Remember how I explained Peter Thiel's gayness to you?
Yeah.
Where I said he loves white men so much. He thinks of white men being so superior. That is what he wants. And that's how he also expresses his homosexuality, is by spewing white supremacist ideology. Because it does the same thing. It brings the white boys to the yard. That's his milkshake. Is white supremacist talking points. He wants to bring the white boys to the yard. So what are you going to say? What is he also going to say? He's going to tell them, hey man, they're trying to hold you back. Yeah, the colored people, you know, the Jews, they're trying to hold you down. Come here and bring that white schlong my way.
Just ruined milkshake for me.
I'm just telling you, that's what Nick is doing. It's really a co-op for him to get pounded on. Like, that's his mission. He's just trying to empower enough.
That's so much work when you could just get on Grindr. Like,
no, he wants a certain kind of white guy. He wants a white guy that has, like, you know, prestige, you know, family means a little something. He wants this guy to be a secret. We got to keep this hush hush when you beat his head into the pavement. You know what I'm saying? Off the back shots.
Moving on.
I'm
Next
just telling
topic.
you, this is what Nick wants to do. And this is what's wrong. And this is why the right is not going to win, because y'all aren't going to go for the jugular. Y'all going to call him gay, but you're not going to expose what he really wants to do, allegedly. He wants to bring white boys to his yard. Nick Fuentes, come on to the show, big dog. Let's have a conversation. Let's discuss your gay demons. You know, if you see them as such.
Yeah, Siemens.
You know what I mean? And we're here to protect you, man. That's what I feel like your plan is for all this.